What's good, YouTube? Chris Lamar. Yo, Power Book 2, episode 6 or 7. A recap, in my opinion. So let's go. So it starts off like the show starts off like Rugrats back in the day, where they kind of like do that close up, but then they pull back. So it starts off with an expression of Monet at Lorenzo's house, and it's a party. They're playing cards, they're eating, they're drinking, and the whole feeling, the vibe of the house is completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like Lorenzo Tejada's aura is infectious. So right when the episode kicks off, Zeke comes through and Lorenzo gets up, meets him at the door like, yo, fam, son, you not invited, especially not your guest. So Monet steps in and was like, yo, Lorenzo, this is my nephew. And he's like, oh, it's the first time I'm meeting, which was kind of ironic. That was the first time he met the famous Zeke. So Lorenzo has his the guy that he was in prison with pat the everyone down. Zeke's down, Drew's boyfriend down, and the other basketball teammates. And then it cuts to a scene where Lorenzo is bragging about how he got the best daughter in the world, Diana. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause she helped, get him out of jail and stole money from Monet. So that scene was kind of interesting, where he, immediately goes into business. All right, yo, we're going to do a 60-40 split. Same thing when we were back up north. And dude was like, yo, fam, I'm messing with the A Street Killers out here. And like, he was like, the same dudes that wanted to get at you, I had to protect you from in prison. This is what you want now? So he briefly leaves, and obviously he has Drew at the table and they chopping up business. So from season 1, he always was like, yo, Drew, he's grooming Drew to be that next shot caller, sidestepping and stiff arming Kane to the side. So Monet is having a hard time adjusting to being the trophy wife. And then, Kane is trying to keep his spotlight, because now he's like coming off the bench now, So next it goes to, they have it's like they're in the class, and you have Carrie and my man Tate talking about what's free. And then the kids is like, yo, we're not gonna address the elephant in the room. Yo, our classmate is in jail for a double murder. Like, is he gonna come back on campus? What's going on? And obviously Professor Milgram, she's like, gonna hold Tariq's gonna spend the rest of his life in prison. Little does she know. And Tate was saying, because she was like, oh, we're gonna go back to the regular schedule program. And Tate's like, yo, anything is possible, foreshadowing what's going to happen in the next 20 minutes. So then, it's a scene when they're at the courtroom. Well, there's a scene where Tariq is still in jail before he gets on his orange jumpsuit, and he's having a dream with 50 Cent or Kanan about what's going on with what happened, what went wrong. And, Kanan was telling Tariq, he was just like, yo, you sound kind of funny talking about outsmarting people and da-da-da, when you in prison for pretty much getting set up for trusting the wrong people. So they were saying like, yo, your mom was calling the shots, with you with the whole drug thing, and Monet is calling the shots. She telling Kane essentially what to do and whatnot. Even though whatever Kane does, Monet is like, oh, why'd you do this, da-da-da, you know what I'm saying? So, they see the judge the first time, and he didn't get bail from the first appearance, but with the second appearance, after the first appearance, he's talking with Method Man Carrier, McCain, and then Sax. And he's like, yo, let me talk with Tate so I can see if I can get out. And Tate's like, yo, fam, like, what's going on with the Sweetie case? Like what's going on? You know what I mean? At that point, like, yo, you had all year. Like, yo, if I get you out, if I tell the judge, to get you out on bail, like, yo, I'm going to make your life a living hell if you don't do what you promised me. And then, like this scene was epic because, saying you get to see the brilliance and the screen presence of Michael Rainey Jr. at that point. And he eloquently says like, yo, I just was with, saying the Westons a few weeks ago on a camping trip, and I seen, the the photo album of some real scandalous, spicy, tough to explain photographs. So once that go public, it's going to be a media frenzy, and you're going to be able to take this to run for his seat. So, at that point, that was like in the previous episode when he was telling Monet, like, you're not in control like you think you are, fam. So, obviously Tate is connected inside, and he has that real influence. And even McCain says after the judge lets Tariq off, because they was using the race thing, like, okay, they went from one black man to another black man, and it's just like this witch hunt trial, and it's gonna stop with him. So Tariq, they was able to pull that race card like you're playing spades and you got the big joker, pop down on the table, let's go for the win. So Tariq gets out of jail and then goes straight home and turns the shower on. Brandon's like, what? How did you get out? Da-da-da. And then they're arguing. And then, like, Tariq's going ham at him like, you fuck up, da-da-da. You helped set me up. You didn't know. And Brandon's just like, yo, fam, like, I didn't know what was going on. You only told me, the bare minimum. So he was easily able to get manipulated by Kane. He was just like, yo, I was thrown up in the bathroom. I didn't know he was gonna plant that on in your dresser and your desk and whatnot. And he was just like, yeah, Tariq's like, oh, you're not built for this. Go ask your dad, your dad for a job. And Brayden's like, yo, fam, don't act like you're a rich kid too. Like your dad was connected and had influence too. So like you don't necessarily have to sell drugs. Like you caused all of this on your own. You know what I'm saying? And Tariq was like, nah, this course correct thing, you out, da-da-da. And then, here come Effie. Obviously next he sees Lauren, and he's still trying to be with Lauren. And obviously, Lauren's super cute. Shout out Paige. And, saying just as a fan, I wanted to see them together, which, what I'm saying? So tear ducts is dropping when they broke up. We're like, Lauren's just like, yo, I'm not really going to be with you with silence. And like, Tariq's like, yeah, it's tough when the people who you love don't love you back. I'm just like, damn, you've been with her for all of 2 minutes. But, what I'm saying? I would feel the same way. But, that was kind of like, we talked about that, when Courtney would do the recaps. Like, Effie's like the most probably closest in understanding of him because of her situation, how she grew up. Like Diana's kind of a little cold, even though, and still unexperienced because she's not sexually experienced like that. You know what I mean? But obviously Lauren, she's in that bubble. So it's like now it's kind of like, she's feel responsible because she was like wearing the wire, but she didn't show up in the judge, and she was like, oh, ass got super tight. He was like, dang, you didn't even go to the courthouse? You supposed to be the ride or die. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now she going to Ray, and you want to distance yourself. So I wonder, like, what episode they're going to reveal that she was wearing a wire, and, Tariq's probably going to go fucking ballistic and stuff like that. But he still was going to, like, forgive her. Let's work this out. Let's go to your room. Let's talk this through. Let's kind of, like, figure this thing out. She was like, not saying anything, but not moving, like, pretty much, silence says it all. Like, yo, I'm not going anywhere with you. Like, this is done. And it was, saying with Tariq, on to the next one. So it'll be interesting to kind of see next episode the dynamic of where she sits when Tariq appears in class. So Effie wasn't at the court, but she came to his room to check up on her and was saying all the right things. She was like, yo, fam, like, you need any money? Like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? So, Diana, I guess she may not have known that he was in jail, so that could be her excuse. So we'll see the next time when they meet face to face, kind of like what goes on and stuff like that and what she says. But Effie, she was just like, yo, she was there for him emotionally, and then it was just like, yo, did you kill Jabari? And he didn't say anything. He was just like, well, what's unsaid is what's unsaid. So Effie is so down for the game. People love her. She definitely a fan favorite and stuff like that, especially at the end of the episode where she was standing there and she was telling Monet, like, yo, you can make more money with me than without me. You know what I'm saying? That was real poetic at that point. So shout out Effie for the win. You know, she was coming in clutch. She was the sixth man of the Vince of the Year award, you know? So definitely want to see how that comes in, because even Effie's not an Effie episode, but when she is in an episode, her screen presence and the one-liners and what she says is epic. Epic. So we're obviously gonna see more of Epi. And now, you know, going on to Kane. Now he really feeling it because, you know, Lorenzo sees him pretty much as a reforcer. He is never going to be more than the perception of his father. But Monet is like, yo, we still going to run this course tour. I think this is between me and you. We still need to have our independence and have a cash flow and a money source. We're not going to stop the Stansfield operation. Fuck with Lorenzo's